There is a movement out there called People's Trust 1776. Now, this group is, as you can guess by the name, it's all about the Constitution. I'm going to have to apologize ahead of time. Anyone who doesn't understand trust law is not going to be able to understand this video. This is about legalese and the legal framework by which this organization is working, and it's extremely complicated for someone who doesn't understand trust law. What I seem to be getting from this organization is that it's attempting to use trust law to challenge the U.S. government and what it's doing. Now, this is not without precedent. This has been done before. Being a member of a country puts you in part of a public trust. The United States of America is a public trust. On and on. It would take me forever to explain everything behind this, but there is legal grounds for what it is these people are doing. And the problem is, I've taken a look at their document. What is it? Declaration and order, and what it is that they're trying to do, like their main document that comes up when you come to the website, and it's full of legalese, and if you don't understand the legalese, it's not going to make sense to you. So I'm not really going to go into too much here, because frankly the people watching this video are not really going to understand unless they understand trust law. Now, the real purpose of this video is for me to give my message to People's Trust 1776 about what they're doing, and that is, it seems like they're doing it all wrong. Like, there's stuff in here that doesn't make any sense. The wording is bad. It contradicts itself in some places. It violates the statute of limitations, which in doing that, it's already operating in bad faith. And that in itself is obviously a wrong that's not going to be tolerated in court. The way it's written, a judge is going to throw the whole thing out of court as soon as they come up against it. I don't know if this has been put into court. I don't know if this has been in court so far, but it seems to me, given my understanding of trust law, that it's just done completely wrong, and that I just want to tell them that. I mean, their aim is not unjust. The content is not unjust. The form is unjust. And that's what I believe is going to get it thrown out of court. Because from what I've seen at the website, they're not very specific about what it is that they're trying to do. Or at least to me, it's not very clear what their goal is. Although you can somewhat surmise that from the fact that 1776 is there. It seems like they're trying to create a new public trust, and that's the goal that they're going for. But to cut all this short, the opening paragraph of their declaration and order, if that's not right, then the rest of the document afterwards would automatically become invalid as a result. And from what I've seen, that's exactly what's happened. The first paragraph is like one sentence. The whole thing is just one massive sentence that has a lot of things rammed into it all at once, and I'm trying to understand it. I've got a friend who also knows trust law tremendously better than I do, and not much of it is making sense. So I do want to give a critique of what's in this, but it's complicated, and I apologize ahead of time because the majority of the people watching this video are not going to understand what's in it. So I want to go ahead and just give a critique of what's in it. By and with due authority. Whose authority? If God, who spoke to him? Where's his signature? Like, standing, to have standing, someone must grant standing. Value, to what value are you referring? And by the power domicile, by creation in any and all states of body created by the Creator, by the power of, the French word for domicile, by creation in any and all states. Is that state corporeal or state etheric, since only corporeal or physical can be recognized? bond servants there too. Are you referring to servitude or some sort of monetary bondage? Original depository states of body thereof, the deposit of the body, where and how. Creators of the public trust. I'm pretty sure there's a list of 3 people who it is that are the creators of the public trust. Any and all lawful systems thereof, like from what? The public trust? Is it the Congress, the Senate, both? Nothing here is clear, but I surmise ambiguously that this was done ambiguously on purpose. And the lawful constitutions there too. What constitutions? Where? What jurisdictions? Duly noted by public registration and entered into international law ordinances. Who registered it and where? Which law ordinances? Who recognized it? Why should anyone recognize it? Cognitively noticed as the Constitution for the United States of America, 1791, as amended, recognizable to law able to be tried before a particular court. Notice. 4b, the conditions of being formally warned or notified. So you are able to be tried in a court and be noticed of the Constitution. Just what does that mean? The lawful progeny jurisprudence thereof, progeny 1a, one born of, begotten by, or derived from another, an offspring or a descendant. B, offspring or descendants considered as a group. 2, a result of creative effort, a product. So the jurisprudence that descends from that, internationally affirmed ordinances. What the Constitution or something else that comes from that? Starting July 4th, 1776, and completed March 1st, 1781, ratified 1791, which means it was made into law both domestically and internationally, never rebutted. Well, this defeats the whole purpose, the whole perceived reason for this whole exercise, since the time for rebuttal, repudiation, or any other form of denial with even the broadest sense of the least strict form of law, equity, a reasonable time after which the party may make such legal claim or a claim of right will be debarred from rebuttal or other form of repudiation according to the statutes of limitations or other law with regard to reasonable time, redeclared, reconfirmed, re-ratified, re-noticed by public declaration and notice. Does this mean that you are rebutting, etc., or that it has never been rebutted, so you are whatever, all these things? Is it even lawful at any point to anything with something that is already a done deal? By public registration July 25th, 2012, and the declared principles of law being aligned with common law and protected under the United States Constitution, which you may or may not have hereunder rebutted and everything with no precise terminology or clear authority, but if it were all valid up to this point, the rebuttal, if valid, would void this claim. Duly ratified by the order, you cannot ratify a void constitution without even a first step of rewriting it, especially Article 4, Section 3, Clause 1, your favorite part that you think gives you some power or right that others may or do not have. Duly entered into international law ordinance, where, when, and how. UCC document numbers, and then it lists a bunch of document numbers, all entered into perpetuity against statutes of perpetuity. The numbers all registered and incorporated hereby reference as if set forth in full. I count 11 documents referenced here. Documents cannot become law locally, federally, internationally without complete and thorough publication of the full contents of the related documents. Otherwise, they are, in their essence, null and void. Maybe these documents are somewhere on the website. Duly protected by public policy, and if the proceeding in this document are true and valid, which they are not, the documents are protected by the void laws that we just voided by rebuttal, inclusive of UCC 103 and any and all federal government and all forms of writing that included state and other hereinafter UCC 103 still voided nunc pro tunc now for then. Praetaria, I couldn't find this word in 4 dictionaries, including Latin. Praeteria, another word I couldn't find in 4 dictionaries, including Latin. I can't really make heads or tail of what this document is trying to do. Like, for example, it says that, like, it seems to be voiding the Constitution, that the Constitution isn't right, but then using the Constitution to declare that right, which in itself is contradictory. You can't void something and then use that as your ability to do so. It seems contradictory to me. Like, it's just not making any sense. That would not hold up in court. It doesn't seem to work. It's saying that it doesn't recognize the Constitution, but is using the Constitution by which to challenge it. Everything here, as they've stated, is being done in common law, but common law is by the Constitution. So how can you use, the common law by the Constitution to cut down the Constitution? Like this is contradictory, and it doesn't really make any sense. It would be much better if this was actually done in equity, but that's a whole different story. That's a whole different court. I just don't get what this is doing. I mean, this is basically saying that the public trust that exists as the United States of America is somehow invalid and not right. So it seems like, therefore, they're trying to create another public trust, but that's just not going to work. The Constitution is the framework by which the public trust is created, but then saying that that framework is invalid, so here's another private trust that goes by that framework. That doesn't make any sense. That would be like if the founding fathers said, okay, England is a totalitarian state, we reject the king, we reject everything he's doing, and here's our legal framework according to this unjust system that we don't believe in. Why our own public trust, we should be creating a new public trust, making it public, hence which has something to do with the term republic, making it public once again, creating a new public trust. This doesn't seem to be making like any sense to me whatsoever. And if somebody from People 1776 could send me a message explaining some of this, because from what I see, this document is contradictory. It seems to refute its own source of its own, refute the source of its own power. I'm just not getting any of this. It doesn't seem to be making any sense. And to finish all this off, let me just say to my regular viewers, sorry, because this video was probably really boring for you, and it probably didn't make much sense to you. So for that, I do apologize, but I felt this was an important critique to make, given what these individuals are doing. So, does anyone from People 1776 that actually sees this video, I would really appreciate a message sent to me explaining how this is supposed to work, because from what I've seen and what I understand of trust law, and what my friend who understands trust law much better than myself, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I would appreciate a message if you were able to send me one.